The last thing you want to do is the first thing you need to do. And I know this is a common saying and it sounds cliche, but let me blow your mind on this because a lot of times what people tend to do is the answer is right in front of you. What we tend to do is actually avoid the answer that's right in front of us. And we create all these other overthinking, different thoughts. We ask people, we create a bunch of confusion because we simply are avoiding the one thing that we need to do. And that's what is the greatest advice I think I got from Elon Musk or something I saw him talking. And it's like the last thing you want to do is the first thing you need to do. So for instance, the other day, the last thing I needed to do was ask a friend for help and jump on a call. So the first thing I did when I realized that, because I was even like sitting with my intuition, and I'm really intuitive, but nothing was coming through. And I'm like, well, nothing's coming through. So the only thing on my mind was like, the last thing I want to do is call my friend and ask for help. But the first thing I probably need to do is call my friend and ask for help. So that day I sent him a text and was like, yo, Spencer, can you jump on a call? It should only take like 30 minutes. I just need to pick your brain and have you help me create clarity on it. Dude said, heck yeah, I'm free at 5, let's jump on a call. And then who would have thought that call would solve every problem for me in that moment? Because we'll post a second video after this because this is a series of events. But honestly, like number one, I was like, I didn't want to ask for help and I did. 2, I jump on the call, he directly identifies all the problems and goes, here's your problem, this is what you need to do. And for that, it was specifically like, it was just this money issue. It was like I had all these problems, but he's like, the one problem that'll knock out everything else is money. So focus on money. Go get some sales. Go get people signed up for your offer. And I was like, perfect. And that literally knocked out like 6 things I needed to do all at once. To completion of the next day, called up one of my friends who was interested in the offer, and I was like, yo, if you want to get in this, we need to know by Friday because we're switching from onboarding to building, yada, yada. Boom, she signed up right away. And I was like, let's go. And then somebody else reached out on Instagram, and I'm working on the offer with them right now. So boom, so even in a sense too, I don't want you to think that there's money problem. There's just cash flow and entrepreneurship. Like even the most successful businesses have so much moving around that there are times that it's like you have the money on this date, but you need it on this date, and it's just getting stuff to work around. But in a sense of all that, I did the one thing I didn't want to do and ask for help. And I knew exactly what I needed to do at the time that I was playing with it. I was like, oh, I don't want to ask for help. And then I was like, fuck it, let's just ask for help. My intuition's not speaking, so we did it. And then it created a solution to that problem and all the other ones that I needed to solve too. So I would share with anybody, like, literally it's the best thing in the world. And you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be self-aware. And you also have to know when to be intuitive and when to listen to those thoughts. Because I think that's like the true mastery of this, right? Because I'd say a year ago, I would have tried to do it all myself. I would have probably overthought it a billion times, asked 1,000 people for advice, but never take any of it. When simply at the end of the day, it was like that thought a year ago was still in the head, like you need to ask somebody for help, even though you don't want to, right? So overall, like you just have to understand, like when you don't know what to do, there's always that one thing that you, confirmation burp, that you don't want to do that you need to do. And sometimes it is leaning into what is uncomfortable because you're being triggered to grow. And if you avoid growth, you're going to create a bunch more problems that are going to force you to growth versus like when you know growth is here and you're being tested on, are you going to ask for help? Simply ask for help and find that person who you trust the most and make it the person that creates the most beneficial solution for you, whether they can actually help you or not. But by simply, if you're uncomfortable reaching out for help, ask somebody who you're really comfortable asking for help with, or even revisit somebody that you just threw a favor, because that's exactly what I do in my scenario. But it created such a simple container for me to ask for help, which I'm still getting better at. But it created a very beneficial experience for number one. I even admitted on the call, like, dude, I hate asking for help, but I'm doing it. 2, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And then he responded like, dude, I'm here for you. And dude, you've helped me a ton. Like, I appreciate you. How can I help you? Boom. It just created a better intimacy in our friendship. It showed me that my homie I'd been helping is helping me. And he instantly created a solution for me in 20 minutes. So however that sits in your world, I just encourage you to, when you don't know what to do the last thing that you want to do first, and it'll knock out all the other stuff behind you. And then share that tip with somebody in your reality when they ask you or you see them struggling. Like, don't try to play God in their reality, but when somebody has a problem and you know a solution, maybe invite them to create a solution and ask them, what is the last thing you want to do? And if they say that, then say, are you open to advice? And they say, yeah. And they say, that's probably the first thing you need to do. So let's do it. How can I help you? And then you're going to solve your problems and probably somebody else's too along the way. Peace. Catch y'all in the next video.